begin at 9 with breaking news that large fire leaving a Claremore church in ruins. I'm Clay Loney.
I'm Lynn Casey in tonight for Shay. We first told you about the fire at the Redeemer Lutheran Church near 5th and Seminole at 6 o'clock.
We have been live streaming updates on Facebook Live for you throughout the evening. Now Fox 23's Rick Marinon joining us with the latest in that firefight expected to go into the night. Rick.
For the most part, the big flames that we saw at 6 o'clock are gone. However, you can see there is still a significant amount of smoke as crews work to put out hot spots. But take a look at the dramatic video we captured of what crews have been dealing with since 5 o'clock. This is Redeemer Lutheran Church on 5th and North Seminole in Claremore, and the smoke from this fire could be seen for miles as the city lights reflected off of it. The entire Claremore Fire Department, with help from Verdigris, are on the scene and will remain on the scene into the night to put out multiple hot spots. Fire crews are not allowed to go inside of the building because the roof had collapsed, and they are continuing to fight this from the outside because a large portion of the roof that is still standing has shifted. The pastor was the only person inside the church, inside his office. Here is what he says about the first moments of this fire.
I was in, but before any flames broke out, it was just the initial stages of smoke. Obviously something was going on in the attic, and I called 911 at just past 5 o'clock.
There were no injuries inside, and I do want to address a false report that is floating around Facebook right now. The fire chief tells me he believes something structurally and old wiring is probably the cause, and that reports of teenagers playing around with matches around the building right now is not true and cannot be verified. Now, if you are living in Claremore, we should note that 911 is still operating despite the entire fire department being on the scene for this. Verdigris has volunteered a truck to come up and guard the rest of the city while crews here continue to fight this blaze. We should note, if you do call 911 and you need the fire department, don't be surprised if you're in Claremore that a Verdigris truck will show up in your neighborhood. Reporting live in Claremore, covering news that matters, I'm Rick Marinon, Fox 23 News.
Rick, thanks for that clarification. We'll begin at 10 with our continuing live breaking news coverage from the scene of a devastating church fire. I'm Clay Loney.
I'm Lynn Casey. Shay is off tonight. Within the last hour, we've talked to church members and the fire chief.
Now, Fox 23's Rick Marinon has been on the scene for us at Claremore's Redeemer Lutheran Church for several hours. He joins us now with the changes in just the past hour, Rick.
And the flames are nowhere near what they were, but you can see we have some hot spots, and they are just continuing to dump water into this building as they try to get those hot spots under control.
I was in, but before any flames broke out.
Preparing for a sermon, Pastor Mark Berger was the only one inside Redeemer Lutheran Church when smoke gave way to flames.
It was just the initial stages of smoke. Obviously something was going on in the attic, and I called 911 at just past 5 o'clock.
Fire crews are fighting the fire from the outside only, as the roof has collapsed in numerous places and parts still standing have visibly shifted.
Once it kind of got into the attic, it's been kind of hard for us to keep it in check.
Church members living nearby are stunned to see a place that holds many memories for them burned to the ground.
It's a mess. It's sad.
You got a lot of memories in there?
My kids all went to church here. My wife is a very active member of the church.
Howard Blansky was saved here, and so were many of his family members. He says looking at the place that has brought him joy for more than 30 years, destroyed in just a couple of hours, is tough.
I'm a Lutheran and was born a Lutheran and raised a Lutheran, and just sad.
The Claremore fire chief tells me the entire force is on scene and are likely to remain on scene into the night as they try to save other parts of the building that the church can still congregate in.
That would be my estimate, that by the time everything's done with the water and everything else, I would estimate it'd be a total loss.
The pastor tells me the building is insured, and members need to trust God on this one.
We will be okay. Christ is in control.
Crews are expected to remain out here through the night to put out hot spots like the ones you see behind me, but I can tell you, if you live in the Claremore area, 911 is still available despite there being so many first responders here. But if you do need a fire truck, you may see verdigris show up to your call if you do call 911 for a fire truck. So don't be surprised if you see another jurisdiction come to your house while the Claremore Fire Department continues to fight all of this. Reporting live in Claremore, covering news that matters, I'm Rick Marin on Fox 23 News.
Yeah, such a loss, Rick. That church part of that community since 1949.